Hello and welcome back to Ekcel Academy's YouTube channel. This is Ramcharan and I am back with the weekly update on current affairs. Like all of you are aware, current affairs is one of the parts in the CSEET exam and it is a part in the paper 4. You can expect questions for 20 marks on current affairs. So this part is very important. And another point to be noted here is there is no fixed syllabus when it comes to current affairs. We have the reference material and we need to read the newspaper on a daily basis to make sure that we do well in the current affairs part of the CSEET exams. So we will be releasing this video on a weekly basis. You may follow this to make sure that you prepare well and in the right direction to do well in the current affairs exam. Let's start with the first news bit. It is related to the Rafale Jets. Now, India purchased the Rafale Jets from France and the 5 Rafale Jets have reached India. And this is the 4.5 generation jets that we have got. Now, this has increased the power of India's Air Force and this is hailed as one of the best things that has happened in the past few years. Now, Pakistan and China have got advanced jets and this was a very important strategic move that India was waiting for a very long period and it has finally happened. India will be procuring 36 Rafale jets from France and the first set of 5 has already arrived. So this is a great news. It has added real strength to Indian Air Force. Now, the news coming from the banking sector. We all know banking sector is the backbone of any economy. When the commercial banks do well, it means that the economy does well and vice versa is also 100% true. So the performances of the banks are being presented by the directors and chairman and here we have some news that is coming from different banks. So SBI has made some profits and these are one-time gains. SBI has sold around 2.3% of their stake. That's the reason for the increased performance in SBI and they have also improved the quality of their assets. That's the reason behind this. And SBI is the largest bank in the country and their performance matters the most for the economic progress of the country. Then we have the ICICI Bank results that have come for the Q1 which has just got concluded. And ICICI Bank has also gone on to do well and ICICI is the largest private sector bank in the country. So both the largest PSU and the largest private sector banks have done well. It is a good news for all of us. But if you see the performance of IndusInd Bank, it is not all that great and same thing holds good for S Bank as well. These are new generation private banks and their performance is not all that good and it is not good news either for the bank or for the economy. Then there is a statement which has come from the chairman of HDFC and that is Mr. Deepak Parekh. Deepak Parekh is one of the well-known names in the Indian corporate. For those of you who have followed the Satyam scam which happened in 2009, Chetan Parekh was made the chairman of the committee which worked towards the revival of Mahindra. That is Satyam. It was taken over by Mahindra later. So later it became Mahindra Satyam. So he is one of the leading personalities in the Indian banking as well as in the Indian corporate sector. Now he has told that the RBI should not extend moratorium. What is moratorium? Moratorium is the loan holiday where for a certain period of time the borrowers need not repay their EMI and that is called moratorium. RBI introduced moratorium in the month of March, that is for March, April and May. Then it was extended for another 3 months period. Now there are news that is making rounds telling that moratorium may be extended for another 3 months period also. So Deepak Parekh is telling that do not do it because people who have got ability to repay the loans are also not repaying the loan and that will cause serious trouble to the banking sector as well as to the economy. So these are the things related to the results that are coming from the banking sector. And like I told you, banking sector is very important. We need to have thorough knowledge on the banking sector. Let's proceed ahead. Agriculture. Now, agriculture is definitely the largest employer in the country. Even to this day, 50 to 55%, sometimes even 60% of our population is dependent on agriculture. Now in India, especially after the COVID-19 disruptions, it is very clear that a lot of people left the cities and went back to their villages. Now the question that comes is, what will they do there? And they have to depend on agriculture. Agriculture is the major source of occupation and income in the rural area, because a massive 60% of the population depends on agriculture, and the good performance of agriculture will do good to the rural economy as well as to the India's economy. So in India, if you have to divide the crops, we divide them as Rabi crop and Kharif crop. So what is told here is the Rabi crop sales mostly profitable to farmers. It's really a great news. So when farmers are profited, it automatically helps the rural economy to do well. And rural economy, that is the villages in India, still holds 55 to 60% of the population. So that means that a lot of people will have money to spend, and when that money comes to the economy, automatically the economy also does well. So this is good news that has come. Despite market disruptions and other things, the Rabi crop sale has been good. Right, let's go ahead. Disinvestment. So disinvestment started in India right from 1991. That's the time we accepted LPG, liberalization, privatization and globalization. So India since then has been disinvesting its investments. That is, Indian government is disinvesting its investments in the companies and in businesses. So the next big disinvestment is expected to happen in Bharat Petroleum. Bharat Petroleum is one of the leading petroleum refineries and retailers in the country. So there will be a 53% stake sale that's going to happen in Bharat Petroleum. So BP and Total have decided not to bid for this, but a Russian company and Reliance Industries Limited are front runners and they may bid for Bharat Petroleum. So this is a big news that all of us have to follow and see how the disinvestment happens with respect to Bharat Petroleum. Right, job cuts. This is something which has become very, very common since March. Many companies are laying off people, cutting jobs and cutting salaries and all those things. So the news comes from Raymond. Raymond is one of the fine fabric manufacturer of India. The chairman of the group is Gautam Singhania, and he has told that around 35% reduction in expense is expected to happen, and they have decided to cut jobs. Same thing holds good with Swiggy as well. Swiggy had cut down 1,100 jobs earlier this year, and now they are cutting down another 350 employees. So this is really not great news that has come, but that's how the situation is. Until the economy consolidates and finds an equilibrium, these things will continue to happen. This is not at all good news for the employees as well as for the companies and the economy. Right. So amidst all this darkness, there are certain new trends that are coming up, which is very interesting. So OTT is all the Netflix and Amazon are all examples for OTT, and the consumption of data. There is a surge in the usage, and what's the percentage? Percentage is 947%. It means that there is a lot of consumption of data that is happening. A lot of people are signing up for Netflix, Amazon, Hotstar and other service providers. And this is a new business that has emerged in the country as well as in the world. We know that there are no cinema halls that are operating now. So people are turning towards such platforms for entertainment. And if you see, there are certain fashion brands that are listed here, like the Levi's, and then we have Metro and Bata and all others. So what are they doing? They are changing the way in which they are selling their products to the people completely. So if you see, there are mobile stores that they're planning to set up. They are visiting the customer's home, and they are visiting the home visits of loyal customers. Bata is setting up mobile shops in apartments. So all these things are new ways of reaching out to people and selling their products. Now we have the Flipkart. Flipkart is one of the biggest e-commerce companies in the country, and they are delivering grocery and they are also delivering mobiles. So these are some of the new trends that we are seeing in the country post-COVID times. There are certain big achievements that are coming. This name is very important to remember for us. Terry Bollero, he will be the CEO of Jaguar and Land Rover. Jaguar and Land Rover are very popular car brands, which is now owned by Tata Motors. So there is a new CEO who has taken the position there. So this name is important. This can be a question for us in the CSEET exam. Now there is another news which comes from Kia Motors. Kia is a Korean motor company, and in India they have sold 1 lakh cars in just 11 months, and they just have 2 variants, and this is doing extremely well. So this is a good news for automobiles. Although automobile sector is not doing all that well in the country, Kia seems to be an exception. So remember the name of the company. It is Kia Motors. It is a Korean based company, and they have sold 1 lakh units in just 11 months. Right, some macroeconomic trends. So European Union, it is a union which was formed sometime in 1950s. They have 27 countries in it, and there is the economy of these 27 companies is shrinking, which is not good for Europe as well as for the world, because they are one of the largest consumers of goods from across the world. So it is not a good news. And next thing is when it comes to India, the fiscal deficit is at 83.2% of target. Now what is fiscal deficit? It is the difference between the expected revenues and the expenses. So we are already at 83.2% of the target. So this time we will definitely go beyond the target that the government had set for itself. So tough times ahead, that is something for sure. The deficit was predicted by the economists to cross 7.5% of GDP in financial year 2020-21. So we are all going through bad period. There is absolutely no doubt about it. We need to come out with some out of the box thinking to make sure that we are able to manage this crisis. I'm very sure somewhere consolidation will happen, equilibrium will be found, and things will be normal in the days to come, but it will definitely consume some time. Now, India-China relationship. After the Galwan issue, India has been very, very strict in its transaction and moves with China. So first, India banned the apps which came from China. Now, India has put the restriction on the imports of TV. A lot of TVs, that is the television sets, were being imported from China, and there is a stop on that. And this is going to hit China in a very, very big way. So this is how the relationship is turning out to be. It is good for India also. This is a time to become self-reliant. That is the whole goal with which Indian government is working today, Atmanirbharata. So it is one step towards that. So when imports are stopped, but TV consumption will not stop in India, TVs are to be produced and supplied. So TV production will improve, will increase in the country. It's a great move. Somewhere it has to start, and it is happening. This is what is called promoting the local. Now certain personalities. Now we first have this person. He is the External Affairs Minister of the country. Please remember, very important, his name can be asked in the exam as a question. Who is the Union Minister for External Affairs? The answer is Mr. Jai Shankar. Please remember the name of the person, important. Then we have Mr. Shaktikant Das. He is the Governor of RBI. He is the Governor of Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India is the central bank of our country. Then we have Mark Zuckerberg. He is the CEO of Facebook. Now he has invested huge sums of money on Geo platform, and through WhatsApp there will be big transactions that are expected to happen. The Geo and WhatsApp will work very closely. So the CEO of Facebook is Mark Zuckerberg. Then we have Mr. Nitin Gadkari. He is one of the prominent figures in Indian government today, and he also holds the Transportation and Highway Ministry. He is a cabinet minister. He comes from Maharashtra, and his name is Nitin Gadkari. Important to remember. Then we have Mr. Mohammad Yunus. He is a Nobel laureate from Bangladesh. He is supposed to be a pioneer when it comes to microfinance. He started a company called, or the bank called Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, which started giving micro loans to the poorest of the poor. And this led to massive financial and economic development and improvement in the lives of the poor in Bangladesh. And a lot of people were benefited from this. So recognizing his effort, he is basically an economist, recognizing his effort through the Grameen Bank, he was given the Nobel Peace Prize. So he is Mohammad Yunus for us. Right. Performances of few companies are given here. Amazon is doing extremely well, and they have registered $345 million of profit as the global demand has picked up. Then we have TVS Motors. which has registered a loss of 139 crores. And there seems to be no end for the misery of the aviation industry of the country. Indigo has posted the worst quarter in 5 years. Then Jet Airways has posted 5,536 crore rupees as loss. Then Spice has also reported 807 crore loss. So aviation industry on the whole is not doing all that well. It's really sad, and we know that international flights are not flying, and this has hit the companies in a very bad way. Some mergers and acquisitions that have taken place. ITC, which was known to be a cigarette manufacturer in the country, now they are into a lot of other businesses. So now they have taken over a spice manufacturer, and the name of the company is Sunrise Foods, for a 2,150 crore transaction. So this is a big M&A that has been reported in the last week. Startup ecosystem, we know India is one of the startup hubs in the country, and what we see here is the EduTech startup. The name of the company is Topper, which is a very well known brand, and they have got Series D funding, and the amount that they have got is 350 crore rupees. So it's a very well funded company. You can expect something big coming from Topper. COVID news at the end. Unlock 3 is on, and businesses and other things are opening up, but still schools, colleges, metro and cinema halls will continue to be closed. So this will take some more time for them to open. And WHO head has told that countries cannot avoid the international flights. So with time, all these things has to open up, and the world has to come back to normal. And there is one thing that everybody are telling: we should learn how to live with the COVID-19. There is no other choice left to us. So if this happens, the danger may also increase, and it may do well to the economy as well. So we need to learn how to live with COVID. Anyway, so this was the update of the weekly news for all of you. I have one last part which is very, very important and interesting. After 34 years, that is way back in 1986, India adopted the current education policy, and India has now come out with a new education policy which is very, very interesting. It says that 5 years of primary school, then 3 years of middle school, 3 years of high school, then 4 years of degree. So this is how the education on the basis of years and grades it will be divided. And there are a lot of other things that are expected from the new education policy. New education policy will make the education practical, it will make skill oriented, and it will aim at creating well equipped and skilled people who are industry employable in the years to come. So that's the whole idea behind the new education policy, and this has been approved by the cabinet, and this will be implemented from the current or the upcoming academic year, and by 2024-25 it is expected to be in full force across the country. So according to the new education policy, foreign universities can now set up campuses in the country as well. So this was the weekly update. I hope you had some good information from this video. Please do leave your views in the comment section, and we shall get back to you with weekly updates in the days to come. Thank you so much.